Hey everyone, welcome to weekday coronavirus-driven mind stuff. It is Sunday, May uh, May 17th, and it's about 7:55 p.m. And this is episode number 20. I gotta check this. Hold on. I think it's 25. No, episode number 26. Okay, it's amazing. Ordinarily, it takes half a year, at my regular once a week schedule to record 26 shows. And it's just taken less than a month. I haven't recorded for 2 days. It was like maybe around a month, whatever. So I hope you're doing well. It's interesting, this background is kind of like showing on my shirt, whatever. I like the backgrounds. I was trying this other one out that's like, it's really kind of like an artistic one, but I don't think, I'm going to try it again because might as well. I'm not going to talk about too much politics today because I probably will because I can't help it, but I want to talk about some other stuff too. So choose virtual background. Hold on, where is it? I think this is it. All right. Yeah, this is like very cool. I found this. Oh, this is nice. I'm going to keep this. This is so cool because I'm an artist, by nature. Closest I get to art really is like doing these shows and then playing some bass guitar. I don't paint or draw anymore, but I appreciate art. And this is kind of like, it's very cool. I don't know how to describe it because it's not really 60s or 70s. It's brand new. But it's nice. All right, so yeah, what I'm going to talk about is, now I'm trying to figure out what to talk about because I want to talk about this part of my life that basically I met a woman, okay, and we got to the point where we're like thinking of moving in together. Now the first thing is like a lot of times people don't talk about stuff like this. And I think that's probably not all that smart. That probably perhaps explains the 60% divorce rate and stuff because people are so secretive, in relationships. So anyway, and you don't want to reveal personal information, of course, yeah, so I'm like talk about this. Because I've been having a great time. For example, this woman that I actually, really like, and then we're talking about moving in together, even we're even talking about maybe even buying a place. There's something wrong with, hold on. All right, sorry. My eyebrows seemed weird, whatever. I was like, what the? So anyway, things are going well. Here's what's happening. I'll tell you the scoop because this don't talk about it if it's romantic. That's not right. That's not right. That's just women talk about this stuff all the time, really. So anyway, so yeah, we were. She came into my room, at 9 o'clock last night. It was a great talk, excellent talk. And we were on till 3, and then there's this other guy who's, she's an artist. I'm an artist and this other guy's an artist and we're connecting really well. But I'm thinking to myself, I think this other guy is closer to her age. And I think he's and so but there's nothing I can do about it. I really like the guy. I really do. So if in other words, and I like her. So if he's right for her, then, but naturally it's kind of because we talked for 16 hours. That's so amazing. And who knows, maybe part of her is kind of afraid of this intimacy because she hasn't told me my age. I know her age. I know she's between 40 and 50 and I'm 62. So, if she's 42, that's 20 years. If I were her, I would not want to go out with somebody 20 years older. I'm sorry. That's just, I'd rather go out with somebody my own age. But, so I get that. Anyway, so so I called her. I left 2 messages. The thing is, she's afraid of getting evicted from her place, and she's like all stressed out. And like, I thought if she talked, it'd be good and stuff. So I called her twice, just like, to express my, concern, to trying to help her out, whatever. But, so like, if she doesn't need my help, then like, or if she feels like, well, I better distance myself from this guy because I feel like that I'm beginning to really like him a lot and I don't want that to happen. So like, whatever, people have their reasons. But hopefully, I hope she'll come into the room tonight. And again, if the other guy comes here, into the room, he's such a cool guy that, I just go with it. So, all right. So what else? I'd been running that room every night for, it's got to be like 3 weeks. And I figured, let me kind of like slow down with that a bit. So I narrowed, like, it'll be an international, I call it an international Zoom party, something like that. Small talk, big talk, politics. That's part of the title. So I changed that to now international Zoom, what is it? Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 9 p.m., And then like on Monday and Friday, I created a new group, a new room event, because I advertise all this stuff on Meetup. And it's called COVID-19 Spirit, Religion, and Spirituality. So like Monday nights and Friday nights, I'm going to like be exploring the spiritual aspects of this. Because like my personal opinion is that yes, this is God. This is not, everything is God. If you don't, my God, that's probably the first thing to understand about God, that God is omnipotent, that what God says happens, what God doesn't say doesn't happen. So this is definitely God's doing. But there's a lot more to it, than that. So we'll explore all that stuff, and I'll see how it goes. I mean, if I'm not enjoying it, I'll just like, host another kind of event, whatever, which might be cool. Okay. So about 20 minutes left of talking, and I'm looking forward to like 8:02. I got like, I was jamming with a friend, bass guitar, before all this happened, and then we couldn't jam anymore. But I had one of my bass guitars is like, I bought it at Walmart. It's like I paid $100 and I really love it. It's like, it's green and it's got a maple fretboard, but it's full size and it's 4-string. I paid $100 for it. It's so cool. Because I saw this video once, this guy compared a $100 bass with a $700 bass with a $10,000 bass, and you could not hear the difference. I'm sorry. A lot of that stuff that people say they could put them to the test. I guarantee you they couldn't. Anyway, so this other guitar is, see, because when I play bass guitar, I play it a lot like a lead guitar, and like there's a plane going by, and you may hear it, you may not. I was thinking of pausing the thing, but it's no big deal. It'll be past pretty soon. So yeah, so like, since my style of bass playing is like lead guitar, because I like to play through an entire, I play some bass riffs once in a while, but I'm usually all over it. It's more of a counter melody, to whatever the melody of the song is. And then I was thinking, so like, if I'm playing fast, then a shorter neck is going to make the moving around much easier. And incidentally, Paul McCartney used to use a short necked bass. It wasn't it's like they call it 3/4 size. And so anyway, so I had bought that bass several years ago, and it's got 5 strings. It's like, I read that like, when bass guitarists occasionally play with an orchestra, a symphony orchestra, they use a 5-string bass. As a matter of fact, if this person was accurate in what he was saying, he basically says like, playing for an orchestra, that's all they use, 5-string basses and all. So I had that in mind also. So anyway, it's like, so that's the, it's an Ibanez micro. I think I spent $200 for it several years ago. And so we couldn't jam. So like, he came over and we were like totally distant, like we didn't, he didn't even get out of the car. And I spoke to him like about, 7 feet away from where the car. So I was like, we were like 10 feet away, whatever. But I just got that today. And I'm looking forward to jamming to it a little later tonight. Probably I won't go through the amp. I want to go through my headphones because A little late. I mean, I don't, actually, I don't know when I'll be. Yeah, I can play a little before I open up my room at 9. But, and then the other thing that came, and I haven't opened it up yet, is I ordered a beach chair. Because, like, you know, basically I'm sitting on a futon, you know, from not for these shows, but for when I host my rooms, because I'm there for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. I don't want to just be in this chair for that long. So I shift positions. It's a futon that's laid out flat. And so I bought this beach chair thinking that I could put the beach chair on the futon thing, and that'll be even more comfortable. Because like in that position, the beach chair, I think I could be there for like 2, 3 hours really comfortable. Or if not, then I'll, go to other positions. But I think that'd be like a third position that might work out really well. Okay, then somebody else is flying around. Sometimes I think that like some people do that intentionally because like there's the associations of World War II and the Blitzkrieg and all that stuff. So if people want people to be intimidated, they'll do that. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, 17 minutes left to go. And all right. So I start reading this book on the New Deal. Now, before that, I start watching some YouTube videos on the New Deal. And then I keyworded Civilian Conservation Corps because I wanted to know a bit more about that. And those were really good. I was learning a lot. But like this book that I got, it's on my Kindle. I'm listening to it. It's about the New Deal. But the author, I mean, it's a book. It's unfortunately books, the longer, the more they charge, the more they make. I think most books are probably better published at a third of their length. Because anyway, so he gets into a lot of details about, people in his administration and meetings and all this stuff. And it may be useful. I may be critiquing it not correctly, but I want to, right now at this point, at this stage, I just want to know the facts, the basic facts. So I think instead of continuing to listen to that book, I'm going to, basically Google the different aspects of the New Deal, like the Work Projects Administration. There are several other programs. Social Security was created then, but as well as just like videos about the New Deal, as a whole. And then so once I get the basics down, then I might want to get into the detail of that, in the book. I forget when, like I download so many, I borrow them from the New York Public Library because they have an exhaustive, amazing collection, probably millions of books, I don't know. And it's all free. And so like I listen to books all the time, usually nonfiction. I almost never listen to fiction, which, I kind of like wish I could. But I think in fiction, like my experience is that a lot of times the people are writing about a lot of problems. And like, I mean, sure, we all have problems, but like, I like my life, I think, has far fewer problems than like what most books describe. So if I want a vicarious experience, I think I want to read a book where the characters have even less, discomfort or whatever than I have. So that's just me. I don't know. 14 minutes. So yeah, I definitely like this background. It's very, very cool. I was playing I played a few Beatles songs like Let It Be and Hey Jude. That's pretty cool. Then I also play like contemporary and love songs and stuff. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Or I believe the children are our future. Treat them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty you possess inside. Give them a sense. I mean, Whitney Houston can sing it a lot better than I can. All right, I'm trying to be funny, but I don't know, whatever. So anyway, so this woman, I'm going to talk about this woman again. I don't know how to navigate relationships. And I'm going to key you in like some personal history. I'm not going to talk about other people's personal stuff, but I can talk about my own. So like, I'm born in 1957 in Cuba. Two things happened between my 0 age and 5. The first thing was that my grandmother, grandfather, and an aunt came to live with us for some reason. And I don't know the order of this. I don't know if this happened first. But the other thing is, like, I'm 14 months old. Castro launches a revolution. Everybody's on edge. My dad's a lawyer. And you know, corporations back then, he's a corporate lawyer. They're kind of like, you know, all the business was tied to the Batista regime, whatever, you know, like, and so, like, no, there's, like, what I'm trying to say is also that Castro did a lot of good for a lot of people in Cuba, because there was a great income inequality back then. But, you know, being in the professional class, you know, he was like inducting kids into the military at 14, and my brother was like 12 when we left. So it was a little scary place. So, but I think, like, you know, in terms of women, I mean, two things. One, you know, maybe like at 14 months, maybe there's something supposed to be going on between a mother and a child, you know, toddler, whatever it is. And that it couldn't happen in my case because, like, you know, everybody was like so stressed out or something. Or the other thing is, like, because I'm trying to explain, because I've always like adored women. I really do. And partly it's because I'm an artist, you know, that's my basic personality. So I adore their beauty. I find them, you know, beautiful. But so like, you know, my other theory is that, like, all right, there's a line from a Carly Simon song that goes, you have the heart of a young boy or a young child, and you give it out so easily, so freely or something easily, that no one woman could ever feel like she's been really touched. So, all right, now keep those lyrics in mind. So I'm like, you know, and I don't know when my grandmother, grandfather, and aunt came to live with us, but, like, you have 3 women, you know, adult women in this household instead of just one, whatever, which is usual, you know, the mother. And so maybe like, I never maybe learned well enough to just, like, focus my love on just one woman. And it's not like I kind of, I don't cheat or anything. I'm very loyal. I really am. But I think just in my, you know, I think maybe it's, most people kind of aren't very familiar with each other. It's this, like, I don't know if it's British or something. The British are kind of like that. I'm Hispanic. I'm also British. My grandmother was born in England, but there's a side of me. And so all right, I'm getting tired. Hold on, getting a little distracted. Just hearing something. All right, sorry. Anyway, yeah, no, I don't want. So basically, I'm just trying to explain, like, you know, like, because I've adored women, and, like, I've never been married. You know, I'm sorry, and, like, I mean, I've had a nice life. You know, I have a good life. I feel very fortunate. That just hasn't been part of my fate, which is fine. So, so what else? What else? Yeah, I was watching, you know, I think Channel 7 News, George Stephanopoulos, whatever his name is. And he was interviewing some people. And I mean, you know, I think the Republicans are in denial. They're, you know, they believe that their distraction and division and stuff is going to make a difference in November. I think they've got a major surprise in store for them. Because that's one reason I'm researching what happened after the Great Depression. You know, again, I've talked about this before. Unemployment rate at the height of the Great Depression was 25%. Guess what? Goldman Sachs recently predicted that it'd be going from the 15% that it is now to 25%. Somebody else predicted that by the end of this month, May, it'll be at 20%. So that's so anyway, that tells me everything I need to know, that it really does, period. You know, the Republican parties back then, they lost 40 Senate seats in 2 elections and a comparable number of House seats. That's where we're going. It may not be as extreme because, like, back then, that was before, like, FDR created Social Security. You know, like, so imagine what it must have been like for people without Social Security back then. And again, the Republicans, if they could, like, end Social Security, they would. They're just so clueless. So that's why, you know, I kind of, like, if I'm in a room where we're talking politics, I will, you know, I will fight the good fight for the Democrats, you know, and they have their, you know, most Democrats aren't nearly as FDR-like, you know, liberal. concern for the poor and stuff as we would like. But, I defend their cause because they're the best we can expect for now. And we've got to push them more to the left, climate change, things like that. But for the most part, I have this like very pleasant confidence that what we need to happen as a country is going to happen, because it has to happen. Ordinarily, I tell people that, ordinarily the corporations run the show with their campaign contributions and lobbying and all that stuff. But in times like this, that influence evaporates. They can give a candidate as much money as they like, but if the candidate feels that his constituency isn't going to vote for him unless he does certain things, well, guess what's going to happen? Yeah. So anyway, so that's why I kind of like, it's a good feeling. It's a very positive feeling. It's like, the idea is like, I've been fighting the good fight with Democrats, whatever, for like over 3 decades. And no, not over 3. About 3 decades. And so here comes along this pandemic that nobody invited, of course, but like it does to the Republican Party what the Great Depression did to them, in a way that doesn't involve, both cases, it didn't involve a fight. It's like God saying, well, I think we need a bit more compassion in the world, a bit more intelligence, and so like that's when Democrats tend to come in power. I mean, it's not like the Republicans are not intelligent. They're intelligent also, but sometimes they're intelligent in very devious ways. Since generally the issues aren't on their side, they've learned to be manipulative and deceitful and all that. And we've got to really strongly push back on that, because like to the extent they do that, that's why we're in this pandemic. They challenge science. They challenge science starting with climate change. Even before that with the pollution, they were, and that's the result of this. When you challenge science, you don't listen to doctors when they tell you that we better change our food system because these pandemics are getting more and more dangerous, more and more threatening. And because Republicans are just not all that bright in that way, I'm sorry, they're just not. They don't trust the authority of these scientists. And we can't, I'm sorry, we cannot allow this to happen again. So that's another reason why either Republicans just dramatically change their ideology, or, they came back from the Great Depression. We may need to kind of like basically change our politics. So the only way they can come back is a completely reformed party. No more of this Trump nonsense of dividing people and insulting people and offending people like he constantly does. That's so. I mean, that alone can explain God's intervention. To have half a country vote into power somebody as vile as Trump, it's kind of like, we let it happen. We kind of like deserve this in a way. But actually, I mean, like I think, and see, getting to politics, whatever. I actually think it's because of the way we've been treating the farm animals, for decades. I mean, factory farming is like beyond horrible. It's more horrible than slavery, more horrible than the Holocaust. Because for example, if you asked me like whether I'd want to be a slave or in the Holocaust or in one of these factory farms, yeah, I'd take slavery in the Holocaust any day. That's how horrible these conditions are. All right, so like it's 8:18 and about 4 minutes left. I'm out of stuff. I'm out of mind stuff. I'm out of coronavirus-driven mind stuff. I once had a dream. I may have mentioned this before. People have dreams, and they dream of being like a fireman or an actor or an athlete or something, right? But it's metaphorical. It's not like they're literally dreaming about this. I don't think they are. Maybe they are. But anyway, I once had a dream. I'm Jewish. So like the dream was that I was like a comedian in the Catskills and the Borscht Belt, these resorts that Kushners, and like they had like a lot of comedians would go there. I don't know. So that was the dream. I was doing religious humor, kind of like poking fun of some of the religious beliefs we still have that really don't make sense anymore. But whatever. Okay. So I'm looking forward to, and I got the beach chairs yellow. Should have gotten blue to hide any stains, because like I sometimes eat and drink waiting for a group to begin or whatever. And I usually don't eat or drink on camera though, but sometimes I'll take the, turn the camera off so I can do that. All right, 3 minutes. So watch us, watch me. If you don't have anything better to do, right? I mean, like, if you got something better, do that. So anyway, like Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. on White Plains Community Media channel 76 if you get Optimum, or 45 if you get Verizon. And like, if you get Verizon and you live in, let's say, in Ardsley or Scarsdale or Tarrytown or some of the neighboring communities, this cable casts there also, which is nice. And I've been pretty good about like uploading all the episodes. I think there are about at least 20 of these 26 that are already up there. And I'll get this episode and a few others uploaded in a few days. And also, again, all these episodes you can find on the White Plains Community Media website. Not that you'd want to, because I don't. I don't watch this show. I mean, because I'm talking this. I know this. I don't have to watch this, right? I mean, if you say it, Anyway, so yeah, I'm feeling a little like insecure because I don't know if this woman really likes me. She just may need a place to stay, and like either I like toughen up my heart and say, fine, I really like her as a friend, and no romance, no sex, just like be really friends, or otherwise, I just say, listen, it's because I feel so strongly toward you that that you got to at least, because she said, like, she doesn't want that kind of relationship, and she never wanted kids. I mean, I wanted kids. My life just didn't turn out that way. But if she's telling me that, like, she absolutely knows, and I know some people, I can tell them, listen, it's never going to happen. So if somebody tells me that, I should like listen too. Although as a guy, the movies like the woman like always kind of like rejects the guy or something, and the guy wins her over. We're brainwashed that way. That's probably why there's so many divorces. We're like chasing women that we shouldn't be with. All right, 48 seconds. I hope you're having a good time, staying connected. Go to Zoom, go to, join Meetup, just like these talks about a lot of things, because like I'm so much more connected to people now than I was before. And I'm meeting a lot of friends, a lot of good people, like these two artists, this woman and the other artist. So take advantage of this amazing new technology to connect with people from all over the world. Australia, Japan, Canada, United Kingdom, Turkey. I mean, so many people from so many places have come into the rooms. All right, I will see you again tomorrow on weekday coronavirus-driven mind stuff.